Welcome to the learning module of Nirma College for Women. I'm Dr.P.Dhivya, Assistant Professor from the Department of Chemistry. In this video, we shall look into the Introduction to Solutions.
Introduction to Solutions. Before we move into the video, let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. P. Dhivya, working as an Assistant Professor in the Department of Chemistry. Brief content of this video includes matter and its types, elements, mixtures and compounds, the classification of mixtures, introduction to solutions, the types of solutions, and the various properties of solutions. Matter. Can you see a chair? This chair has a definite mass and a specific volume. I mean, the chair occupies space. Everything in universe has mass and volume. Thus, in science, we define matter as anything that has mass and volume. Matter is made up of various constituents like atoms, molecules or ions. These atoms, molecules and ions together build the things that you see and touch in your daily life. Be it a car in which you travel, the mobile phones and the laptops that you use in your day-to-day life, the stones and the pebbles on which we walk around. Everything is made up of matter. Classification of matter. Matter is broadly classified into elements, compounds, and mixtures. Elements. The atoms of an element are similar in their properties. For example, iron, copper, aluminium, gold, etc. Compounds. When two or more atoms combine through a chemical reaction in a fixed ratio, a compound is formed. For example, sugar, glass, salt, soap, etc. Mixtures. Mixture is a substance that is formed when two or more compounds or elements are mixed in any ratio. For example, air, sand, etc. On the basis of the ability to see the particles and the composition of distribution throughout the mass, mixtures are into homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. A mixture of sand mixed with salt is an example of heterogeneous mixture, whereas sugar mixed with salt is the most common example of homogeneous mixture. Hence, in short, a homogeneous mixture is a mixture in which the composition is uniform throughout the mixture. The salt water described is a homogeneous mixture because the dissolved salt is evenly distributed throughout the entire salt water sample. Often, it is easy to confuse a homogeneous mixture with a pure substance because they are both uniform. Whereas a heterogeneous mixture is a mixture in which the composition is not uniform throughout the mixture. Vegetable soup is a heterogeneous mixture. Any given spoonful of soup will contain varying amounts of different vegetables and other components of a soup. Moving on to the introduction to solutions. More than 70% of Earth's surface is covered by a very important solution, seawater. It is likely that without seawater, no life exists on Earth. At its simplest, seawater is mostly water, but about 3.5% of seawater is dissolved solids, mostly NaCl, but other ions are present as well. Solution. A solution is a homogeneous mixture of one or more solutes dissolved in a solvent. Solvent, the substance in which the solute dissolves to produce a homogeneous mixture. Solvent is usually present in a larger quantity. Solute, the substance that dissolves in a solvent to produce a homogeneous mixture is termed as a solute. Usually in a solution, the solute is present in a smaller proportion. Hence, together the solvent plus the solute will make up the solution. Types of solutions. Solutions are classified into three types. Number 1 is true solutions. Number 2 is the colloids. And number 3 is suspensions. Let us look into the properties of true solutions, colloids and suspensions. The size of the true solutions is less than 1 nanometer, whereas for colloids it is between 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, and for suspensions the size of the particles are greater than 1000 nanometer. True solutions are invisible even under an ultra microscope. Colloids are visible only under an ultra microscope, whereas suspensions are visible by naked eye. Next, moving on to the property of diffusion. True solutions diffuses readily through a parchment paper. Colloids diffuses slowly through a parchment paper. Suspensions do not diffuse at all. Moving on to the property of scattering of light. True solutions and suspensions do not scatter light. The property of scattering of light of colloids is termed as Tyndall effect. Next, moving on to the property of settling. True solutions do not settle. Colloids do not settle under normal conditions but settle when centrifuged. Suspensions settle under gravity at normal conditions. True solutions are homogeneous in nature, whereas colloids and suspensions are heterogeneous in nature. It is impossible to filter the true solutions through a parchment paper and a filter paper, whereas colloids can be filtered through a parchment paper but not through a filter paper, and suspensions can be filtered both through a parchment paper and a filter paper. Coming to the kinetic property, true solutions do not show kinetic property. The kinetic property exhibited by the colloids is termed as Brownian moment, and suspensions may show kinetic property. Appearance. True solutions appear to be very clear. Colloids are generally clear or they may also be opaque, whereas suspensions are predominantly opaque. Hence, we come to the conclusion of video in which we have discussed about matter, the types of matter, mixtures, the type of mixtures, and we have moved into the solutions and types of solutions.
Hope you have got a better understanding regarding solutions. Thank you for watching and meet you all in another video.